Hey, how you doing today? We got it recording. How you feel?
I'm good. I'm living. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for coming on today. I know we had like a 10-minute pregame discussion, but now we're going to get into the actual discussion, okay?
Real thing. Yep.
Absolutely. So the first question that I always ask, if you can tell me your name, your stage name, and can you explain your artistry?
My name is Elizaul Santana. My stage name is the same, and that is on purpose because I want to be called my weird name when I get to the level that I want to get to. And my artistry is I'm an actor, and I also want to direct and produce as well.
Awesome. So for me, it's a real treat to be able to talk to you because I've worked with you so many times in the past, and you have been a favorite amongst our little community that we have. People want to communicate with you. They want to work with you. They want to talk with you. Why do you feel people are drawn to you?
Oh, it's hard to answer that one without patting myself on the back too much, but no, I'm just kidding. I don't know what it is. I mean, I'm just trying to be me. I stay in class. I stay true to the work as much as I can, and I think people maybe see that. And I think I'm okay to be with around on set. So I'm genuinely me, and I think people see that and feel that. So I think they're how do I say it? They're excited to work with me just as much as I am with them because we know that we're both ready to accomplish this goal of making whatever it is we're trying to create.
Excellent. Who are the people that inspire you and your acting style?
Well, I got a couple, but I'll say the main one right now, I would say Jharrel Jerome. And if you don't know who he is, I mean, I think he won the Emmy. He was definitely nominated, but he's an Emmy, I'll say winner. An Emmy-winning actor who starred in a bunch of cool things like Moonlight and things like that. But the reason I look up to him is because he's like my only like comparable that I can see in the industry right now. He's young, he's Afro-Latino, like I am of Dominican descent. He's from the East Coast, I'm from the East Coast. So I see a lot of similarities from him. And also I just love the projects he does. They're meaningful and impactful, and that's the kind of stuff I want to do.
Excellent. Is there any more?
Yeah, I mean, besides that, it's like the obvious, the Denzels, I really like Anthony Mackie. He just became the new Captain America. Samuel Jackson. I'm also inspired by great directors like a Scorsese or a Ryan Coogler or a Jordan Peele. You know, those kind of things.
Excellent. Going back to our work history, we worked together on Beyond the Eyes. I think it was one of the first ones that we did. And also we worked on one of Cruise's films. One thing that I've noticed about you that you always have a level of professionalism.
That's all just experience. I mean, that's just going to set and watching how other actors interact, you know, people who have a little bit more experience than I do. I mean, I'm going to be polite and respectful no matter where I am. If I'm on set, if I'm in a coffee shop, if I'm, you know, wherever I am, I'm going to be that way. So I think that's just me, but I was fortunate to get on like little sets doing like background work and stuff with like cool actors and like directors and seeing how they kind of carried themselves on set. And I just try to emulate that and just be myself with it.
I've mostly experienced you within dramas. Would you say you're more of a dramatic actor?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's like my bread and butter. That's where I want to live. I'm like a nonchalant person in real life and very like a carefree, I feel like, in my day-to-day life. And I feel like when I'm doing a drama where there's some heavy emotional things and heavy topics and themes, I feel like that's when I get to express myself a little bit more. So yeah, I think I lean more towards the drama and the heavy stuff.
Nice. When did you first started acting? Were you one of those theater kids, like growing up, always wanting to be on screen, or was it like a life choice later on in life?
So I started technically like in elementary school. I used to do like little school plays, but then once I got to middle school, I stopped. Because I figured, I mean, I'm from a small town in Massachusetts, so it was never like a thing, and I've never really seen anybody that looks like me on screen, so I stopped pretty early. I didn't do it through middle school, I didn't do it through high school, and then I went through college, I graduated, and then I in 2020 actually, before I graduated, I it was the pandemic, so we were all sitting down and doing nothing, and then I was like, you know what? I've always wanted to do this like my whole life. What does it really look like? Like if somebody were to pursue that and not have any connections or know anything about the business. So I found Backstage, I found Actors Access, I mean through Googling and stuff, and I did my first short film in 2020, and then ever since then, I mean I've been glued to it. I can't leave it alone.
You mentioned college. Are
Yeah.
you're not an LA native. Where are you from and where did you graduate college?
I am originally from Salem, Massachusetts. That's where I was born and raised, but my family is Dominican, straight from the Dominican Republic, Santiago. But I went to college in Salem. I went to Salem State University, and I graduated from the business program there.
Excellent. Graduating college, you could do anything. You could be anybody. At least that's what we believe. I would say I believe that type of. I had that strong mentality. What did you want to do? What did you want to be when you were graduating from college?
I really didn't know. I mean, I went to college because I thought it was the thing you're supposed to do, and schools always come natural to me. So I'm just like, I mean, I can just keep doing that for another 4 years, I guess. So I went into the business program. I majored in business administration and management, and with a minor in economics. The goal was to start my own business. Had no idea what I was going to do, what kind of business. I had no idea. I just thought, well, I mean, if I'm going to start my own business, I should have a college degree. So that's why I did it.
So the year is 2020, year of our Lord 2020. Walk me through how you decided to turn to acting. We definitely are in the middle of a pandemic at this time. So how does acting fit into the equation?
I think it was a combination of just, I mean, it was the first time because, I mean, while I was in college, I had 3 jobs, just trying to pay it off, trying to get out debt free. So I think 2020 and the pandemic really gave me a chance to sit down in my semi-adult life. By 2020, I was 21. So I was just about to graduate. I graduated in 2021. So I had a year left, and I finally got to sit down and not have to go to work and not have to think about all the other things that I was doing. And I think that's when it came. It was just like a voice, like, just do it. Like, like if you don't do this, if you don't try now, you're never going to try and you're always going to regret it. So I think that's that was the driving factor. I was able to sit down and really think about what I wanted to do with my life and what I wanted to pursue, what my dreams were,
Tell me more about those dreams. Did you feel like acting was a calling? Did you have a dream of being on stage or receiving an Oscar? Tell me a little bit more.
I never really dreamed too not that big. I would say I wouldn't give myself that much credit just yet. I do have those dreams now, but I think when I was starting, it was just, if I can get paid to act on screen or on stage. I mean, I haven't had the privilege to do a play yet, but in my adult life, I should say, but I will eventually. But the dream was, if I can just be on screen and pay my bills and just do that and not have to have any other jobs. I mean, I've had so many odd jobs over the years that I'm like, if I don't have to do any of these, can I cuss?
Absolutely.
If I don't have to do any of these bullshit jobs and I can just act and pay my bills and live life like that, that was really the only thinking behind it. And yeah, I mean, I'm still trying. So
understand. Tell me about that grind of you trying. Tell me about the challenge that it is to be an actor here in Hollywood.
It's tough. I mean, it's very expensive to live out here. I'm sure you know that. So it's tough being an actor, especially an actor with no connections, up and coming actor. No, I'm not known for anything. Some person didn't see me in a coffee shop and was like, hey, like, I'll be your agent and I'll do this. Like, it's just grinding it out. Is getting on those self-submit websites, and you got to pay for those too. So it's getting on those things, it's submitting every day, it's staying in class, it's making sure your headshots are up to date, it's learning as much as you can. I mean, reading whatever you can about it, watching videos. I mean, It's a constant everyday thing, just trying to become better and better and better, and make yourself the best actor you can be, so when that moment does come, if it ever comes, you're ready.
You said the moment, the moment. Which moment?
I say that as a metaphor, I guess. It's the moment or a moment. I mean, I can maybe feel like it's the moment in the moment, and then it's not the moment. So I just think whenever you get a chance to showcase your talent, I just think as an actor, as a new actor, a green actor, I guess some would call it, it's about just preparing yourself to get to that level where somebody on that set, whether it's like a small procedural, an independent film, a short film, whatever, somebody on that set sees you, likes what you do, and says, hey, I got some more things I'm doing, come on, and we can keep working.
Something that you said that really got me thinking and really like writing it down. I'm a historian, I'm a writer, I'm a keeper of stories. If I could just get paid for that, like that would be the dream. I know that you do as many films as you can. I know you're as busy as possible when it comes to opportunities like jobs and gigs. But what else do you think that you can do at your level?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough for someone like me. I can only speak of myself. It's tough for someone like me who's I'm young and I grew up with the social media age. It's tough because it's like I want to be an actor and I want to act and that's like what I want to do, but I also know that there are other things I need to do in terms of just like being a presence on social media. I'm sure helps. Having like a podcast or something. I mean, if you can grow a following through any type of social platform nowadays, I'm sure you can transition that into some sort of career. I don't know if that's the career I would want necessarily. I want to be a serious actor, I guess, and I use that term broadly, but a serious actor in like some really nice, like deeply influential, like films. And I think sometimes it's hard because you're towing that line between, okay, I need to be this like influencer or whatever. So I need to curate an audience, but at the same time, I need to have a little bit of mystique about me because, I mean, as far as I can see, the greatest actors, I mean, the best, at least the ones that I think are the greatest, there was always something mysterious about them, and that's why you were able to believe them and all the characters that they do. So it's about you gotta do a lot more than just acting. Yes, you have a presence on social media, you have to stay in class, you gotta grind it out, whatever that is. I don't know for sure. I mean, I only know what I do, you know?
Do you have an agent?
No, that's the next step. So I've kind of put that on the back burner because I've been getting gigs and getting jobs pretty consistently and just trying to like build that resume up to not shortchange myself in getting an agent who I don't think is up to par with me. Not saying I'm like this great thing, but I do want someone who shares the same vision that I have for my career and believes in it. So that's actually the next step. I'm at an overpass now, and I'm like, okay, now I think I'm ready for the agent now. I think I'm ready to maybe start auditioning for those, that next level a little bit.
What are some of those roles you can easily see yourself in?
That's tough for me. I don't easily see myself in any roles. I guess I'm a little self-deprecating in that way.
I'll help you out just a little bit. So there's a lot of television shows. I know that I'm gonna go on a limb here. One of my favorite is Ghost right now. And there's all of these absolutely amazing actors and actresses. And so the Ghosts, they all have different personalities, different centuries and things, which is awesome storylines for each one. And so I would say giving an example, so the question would be like being one of the Ghosts and you're playing like maybe a college kid. It's clearly comedy, but it's kind of dramatic in certain ways, but very much of a fun-loving, family-friendly type of show. So that was just a quick example. Do you have an example?
Sure. I mean, if I could play the tech guy, I guess. I do have long hair. You throw a pair of glasses on me, I'm sure I can fit in on that. I can play, the stereotypical ones like the thug. the street kid, but I can also do college kid. I recently did a project where I was a lawyer, which was nice. That was a little change of pace. Yeah, I'm in that young adult phase in life right now where it's kind of tricky. I do see myself in like post-apocalyptic, like things like that, just because of the way I look, my build. Yeah, I can see myself in those kind of roles.
You're a little bit younger than I thought you were, simply because of the way you carry yourself. So I appreciate that. So definitely, which is why I brought up like the college kid. Now understanding how young you are, I was like, yeah, he could fit that in. Do you have any mentors that could help you with those type of challenges?
I don't. I'm not saying I wouldn't be open to it. I just don't. I haven't met that guy, I guess, to take me under his wing or to give me some advice. Yeah, no, I don't, like I said, I don't really know. I don't have connections in the business or anything like that. The closest thing I've had to a mentor is when I was in college. I was part of a brotherhood, and we had some older classmen who would give us advice on classes and stuff like that. But no, I don't have that.
You're not the first person that have said that. And of course, I don't necessarily either when I really kind of think about it. I do have some people that I kind of go to every now and again, but I don't know if they would consider themselves my mentors because it's so infrequently. But it makes me think that maybe if I just started reaching out more, then maybe we will have that type of relationship, you know?
Mm.
Yeah. Because I think it's always great to have people in your corner who say your name in rooms that you're not in, who can kind of guide you into some of these decisions. I feel like there's so many tough decisions that we're faced with consistently, and we're just having to walk by faith. And, you know, I'm not quite sure if that is supposed to be because it seemed like a default instead of a choice. I understand faith, but I also think that like we're blurring those lines between faith and stupidity, you know?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree
Right?
100%.
Yeah. And so just kind of working out those things. So maybe in the future we'll probably, you know, spend a block on this conversation. And so the last thing that I will say, ask you rather, if you had some young cats come up to you and ask you for a little bit of advice, what would you give them? What would you say to them?
How young we talking?
We talking about somebody who's more like at the school, at the Los Angeles Film School, more, but the younger ones who like just graduated high school.
I'll say go for it because at that age, it's like, I mean, you have so many opportunities. You have so many, like, I mean, you have so much time. I mean, I feel, you said I'm young, but I feel old. But I think to an 18-year-old who's trying to direct or act or whatever, I would say, I mean, either go to school if that's what you really want to do, if you feel like you'll thrive in that environment. If not, get some classes under your belt, start auditioning, and really build up the chops to really navigate and get in this business because it is not easy. And the younger you start, I think the better within reason, because I also think, you know, you look at some of those child stars and you're like, maybe, you know, maybe they shouldn't have started so early. But I think if you're sure of yourself and you know what you want to do and you're 100% in it, I mean, just get into it, get focused on it. But also, I mean, don't be afraid to live a little. You know, you're only young once. So, and I also think the more experiences you have, the better an actor you are, and I mean director, whatever it is, the better human you are. Really, the more experiences you have. So I'd say just get as many experiences as you can while being safe, of course, but really start to hone in on your craft and what it is that you actually want to do now, because before you know it, I mean, you'll blink. I blinked and college was over, you know?